We're going to jump into our next match. Let's take a look at it. It's going to obsess on it. That'll be the next match after this one. It's going to be Grubby against mTwDIMAGA here, guys. A PvZ between the two top players in the Western bracket that we were taking a look at with the qualifier for Stars War. Now, remember, even though in the Chinese bracket, two of the players are moving on, so both Maxed and Sen are moving on to the actual LAN event, only one player from the Western qualifier moves on. So this is a really important match for both these players. The winner will move on, the loser will be knocked out. And they're both very accomplished players in the StarCraft 2 scene. mTwDIMAGA probably a little bit more than Grubby, especially after winning Assembly 2011. Summer, as you see listed there. He's got some of the best ZVZ in the world. But we'll get to see how his ZVP looks tonight against Grubby, who as a player has been gaining a lot of respect and publicity lately in the scene. He's not only, a great player that's getting better and better and has an awesome stream, which you guys should definitely check out. Of course, so does mTwDIMAGA, but what I was about to say is that he's also a pretty awesome caster. He's been getting into casting lately, which is great. So I always wonder, like how much it affects his play, like how much time he spends casting, how much time he spends playing. But in any case, let's just jump right into this game and get it started. Here it is, guys. This is game one on Entombed Valley of this best of 5 between Grubby, our green Protoss here in the bottom left, representing himself, which is awesome, against his opponent in the bottom right. mTwDIMAGA, our red Zerg, representing mTW. Mortal teamwork. So we are in close ground positions on Entombed, the closest positions you can have on this map. Probably the closest rush distance of any map in the map pool. So it could lead for a pretty aggressive game between these two. Might not be the standard quick 3-base we see often on this map. And we are going to see a forward expand from Grubby. Pylon positioning suggests we might have to see a second pylon over here, as you won't be able to power like a gateway to fit there, I don't think. I'm wondering if is mTwDIMAGA just going to go for the standard build? We're just going to see like a 15 pool, 15 hatch. He's going to try to pull off something a little bit weird here. mTwDIMAGA known for creativity, so we will see him pull off something different. So close. What? I don't know, maybe he was talking about going hatch first, if his probe hadn't scouted him first or something. Maybe he's talking about the fact that, no, he doesn't know they're at close positions yet, I don't think. Not sure what he was talking about, but... I don't know, man. I wish I knew what he was TTing about. But this is a really odd build from Grubby. He's actually going for a gateway on the low ground into gas. So even though it looks like he's going forward expand, he's just building his gateway on the low ground. This is going to be able to allow him to put on a lot of early pressure. Have a lot earlier timings than Zergs are usually used to. But with the wall off, if he adds a forge later, maybe even a second gate, something like that, he'll really be able to defend quite easily as well. So I love this play from Grubby. And it is going to be a quick core from him. How many Zealots will we see? Are we going to see 2 Zealots chronoed? No, he's not throwing chrono in. So he's going to wait. Just going to get 1 Zealot. Then chrono out a Stalker, perhaps. Meanwhile, mTwDIMAGA doesn't have gas. It looks like he wants to go for the standard 3H no gas play. So this early aggression could be pretty hard to deal with. Oh, I guess the TT was about some lag that happened. In any case, this still hasn't been scouted. That's a problem. Like, mTwDIMAGA has no idea this is coming. His Lings will get over there now. But there's already going to be a Zealot out with a Stalker chronoed on the way. Warp Gate's on the way as well. Are we just going to see the Nexus go down? No, he's going to drop another pylon, try to wall this off. A good move. Thought maybe we'd see a Forge, but just going to be a pylon for now. And even so, even after scouting Gateway and no Forge, mTwDIMAGA drops a 3rd hatchery. If you see no Forge, they are not Forge expanding. Like, they have a much earlier gateway timing. This is a gateway timing with a warp gate timing that just doesn't usually allow 3H no gas. Usually 3H no gas is specifically built to work against Forge expand because their gateway timing is so much later. They can't just beat you with a straight up, really early warp gate timing. But this build might be able to from Grubby, because this is more like a standard warp gate timing that you do off 1 base. In fact, he hasn't taken a Nexus yet, so I'm a little bit worried here for DIMAGA, but he is getting an earlier 1 speed instead of a, you know, later double, or excuse me, an earlier 1 gas instead of a later double gas. So we'll be able to get Zergling speed early on to be able to, you know, pick off these units, pick off forward pylons. Great harassment here by Grubby. He hit a forward pylon over there as well for later on. Gotta wonder if that probe was noticed by DIMAGA. He's already got 2 Stalkers here. Great micro pulling that Zealot back. Avoiding, oh, it does die to a Queen, but really was just doing so well there with that Zealot. As much damage as possible. And Grubby still hasn't scouted the fact that his opponent actually went 3-hatch. I don't think he realizes. He'd probably assume that DIMAGA would respect him enough after going gateway build to not do that. But instead that's going to be the case, is that it's actually 3-hatch, and Grubby really doesn't know. Gotta wonder, you know, if he's kind of inferred that. I gotta imagine he wouldn't, otherwise he probably would have at least checked to double check with his Stalker on the way back home. I think he has no clue. We're going to see up to 3 gate with a Forge. Grubby not throwing out anything too crazy, like all of a sudden throwing down, you know, 6 gates or something like that. Does look like he wants to play pretty standard from here. I really feel like, though, you know, if he knew, it's really unfortunate he didn't scout. I feel like if he scouted that 3rd hatch and he just threw down, you know, 3-4 more gateways, go up to 5 gate or something, he could just go all in and just go win. I really don't know how DIMAGA would hold that, but could be wrong. His Nexus is so late for being up against a 3-hatch that it feels like if he doesn't all in, he's going to be too far behind this game to really accomplish anything. That early gateway aggression, it forced out a bunch of Lings, but that's it. This is the only amount of damage he really did. He didn't kill any workers. The Zerg is still getting ahead in workers. 36 to 31 right now already. And oh my god, a Baneling Nest. We're going to see one of those really fast 3-base Baneling all-ins from DIMAGA. This is becoming more and more popular. Zergs love just kind of, you know, punishing greedy Forge Expand builds by getting up at 3rd base, having all that extra larva, and then just pumping out a ton of Banes. 3rd base still hasn't been scouted by Grubby. He just has no clue. Not even checking for that with that many Lings. There we go. He's going to check. No, he's not. Oh my god, he's still not checking up the ramp. And he might just get surrounded here. This is brutal. Oh my god, he loses his sentries. Wow, you can't do that. This is why you don't move out with such small forces as a Protoss player. You just don't. And now he doesn't have sentries to force field against the Baneling all-in. When the Baneling arrives, he won't have the force fields, or not as many at least. And that destroys you, man. Zealot Warping, though, is doing a lot of damage here. Might even be able to spot the Banelings morphing in. DIMAGA might have needed those Lings to hold off this attack, but no, he should be fine with the Queen. Plenty of Lings in there. You can see he's only on 33 drones. So I even saw someone in chat like questioning the fact that I was calling it an all-in because he's on 3 bases, so it seems like it couldn't be an all-in. It is, guys. He's got no drones. He's going for a Baneling all-in. He's making nothing but units. He's got to do damage or he'll be way behind with this. Keep in mind, he is way ahead, but because of the play Grubby was going for. But it's still going to put him behind making this many Lings instead of drones if he doesn't do damage. He's only got 8 Banes here. Well, hopefully we'll see him morph some more. He's got 266 gas. Maybe he'll wait to try to bust through and then try to morph some inside the base or something. I'm not sure. He's got to attack as early as possible. You really want to force the force fields to waste the sentry energy with an early attack. Because the more often you do that, the more force fields they waste. If you just wait, they build up force fields and they're more able to defend against this all-in. So I'm really curious. Is there still 4 Pollen warping in? Why is he sending all these units back home? What is he doing right now? You don't not build drones, build this many Zerglings and Banelings, and then not even try to bust and just go home. But apparently you do if you're DIMAGA. Wow. He didn't even check up the ramp to like be like, oh, do you have enough sentries? I'm gonna go kill you. Or maybe he did earlier before there were too many built. I'm really surprised. DIMAGA not gonna try to do damage at all. Just gonna drone now. I really feel like he could have busted that against only 4 sentries. But it's good to play it safe. Just better to play it safe. If you just triple larva injects, well, he doesn't have a queen over here just yet, but if you just larva injects effectively, they should really be able to pump out enough drones to make up for that pretty easily. Of course, he is still even on food with Grubby. And down on hurt workers, you can really see the damage that doing this build is doing to DIMAGA. He's nowhere near as far ahead as he would like to be in economy right now. But he should be able to catch up. He's got a macro hatch on the way. And it's unlikely Grubby will actually go attack soon. He could. He has 7 gates. I would expect him to just go take a 3rd on this map. But you never know. He might just go for a 7-gate 1-1 Immortal all-in. He does have 1-1. He does have a 2nd Immortal popping out. So it does look like that's likely. But sometimes players just go for that type of style and then just take a 3rd behind it. But he's not setting a probe out to try to take a 3rd. Not even clearing the possibility of Zergling being there. You're just going to go for it, man. He's got an observer here to take out some of this creep spread. Pretty darn helpful. Pretty darn useful. He's going to need good force fields against these Banelings. Nice job just preemptively force fielding the ramp. Do not let the Speedlings come in and surround you on your way back. He is going to fall back here. At least wait for reinforcements. Maybe no. Maybe we're just going to go back. He's going to drop the Nexus. So he's kind of feinting pressure, making it look like he's going for this big all-in, which forces DIMAGA to make a ton of units. He made more Banes. He made tons more Lings instead of making drones right now. And that's keeping the worker count really even. He's going to put on some pressure, though. Great force fields at this little choke point here. DIMAGA does not have Bane speed. He's trying to get drop play, but that's not going to be done quick enough. Bane's just kind of getting spread out and not doing a lot of damage here. They are going to stream in. How good are the force fields going to be? Great force fields there by Grubby. A couple of Banes getting into the sentries. Those are going to do a lot of damage. Speedling's going to surround everything, and DIMAGA's going to shut this down. Wow, that could have been a great build from Grubby if he had just, taken the third and sat back. You want to do one or the other, You really want to either attack and don't take a third and just, put all your minerals into the attack and just really go for it. Or you want to feint the pressure and then just go back and take the third and just sit back and defend. If you try to take the third but then go for the attack and you lose your army, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get counterattacked, and it's unlikely you'll be able to hold your third. He's lost every sentry thus far. Stalkers do not have Blink. There's no Twilight to be able to get +2 or Blink. Just Colossi on the way. Baneling's going to be pretty cost efficient here against these units warping in, but not enough. Ling's trying to target for the hatchery, or the Nexus. That's not going to work. But DIMAGA did just make a big round of Speedlings. 38 more on the way. He's got drop play as well, so he can kind of circumvent force fields if he needs to. First Colossus out, though. That's really going to help against these Speedlings. He's just going to target the Nexus. A good move. He's already got it at half HP. And he can just kill that off really easily. Just kind of, punish Grubby for not having enough units back at home, for suiciding so many units into the third of DIMAGA. And now DIMAGA's equalized that game. If that Nexus were allowed to complete, Grubby probably would have been able to pull ahead here after making all those Lings for DIMAGA. But now DIMAGA can equalize. He could make more drones if he wants. Would love to see him do that, but he's still just kind of making units here. He just wants to go for it. He's loading up overloads. He's got drop play. He really just wants to go for a big attack. But 2-2 is not even close to done yet. Looks like he maybe just wants to defend, actually. He's worried about this attack incoming from Grubby, since they're at close ground positions. Such an annoying thing to deal with on this map. Oh, he's got to be careful. That's an overload that has 4 Banes in it. I would love to see him, mix in more, yeah, there we go. More extra overlords out in front that don't actually have units in them to be targeted. Maybe even unload in some Zerglings in there, but wouldn't really matter. There's not a lot of force fields. Zergling's getting a pretty good surround here. Baneling's going to start unloading. All those Zealots are stacked up. Stalkers as well. Grubby attempting to split, but he's not going to be able to accomplish enough here. Baneling's doing a ton of splash damage, but he will be able to pick off all the Speedlings in the process. So Stalkers are pretty low. He's got a low count on them as well, but he's still got 2 Colossi left over, and still pure Ling. No Roaches from DIMAGA, no additional tech, no Spiral on the way, just going pure Ling with upgrades, but, 2-2 is not done yet. He's going to lose a Queen, going to lose some drones over here. Pure Ling not so good against Colossi. I don't know if you guys knew that. Just thought I'd, let you know in case you weren't aware. Because DIMAGA doesn't seem like he's too worried, though. He's happy just going pure Ling. Maybe the reinforcements will be able to overwhelm Grubby, surround the Colossus, and pick him off, but it's... Oh, he does pick off one. Down to just 1 Colossus. Second one, though, going to reinforce. It's just not looking good for DIMAGA right now, though. Grubby is just, he's gotten too far ahead against a pure Ling composition. Now 2-2 is going to be done for DIMAGA, but he's lost a lot of his drones. You really need like a huge swell of Zerglings to really get a good surround and good engagement with 2-2 to actually beat this army. You can't just go in with small numbers. I can't believe DIMAGA is still just going pure Ling. Well, a couple Banes morph again, but they don't really help you against this composition with Colossi. He's going to get a nice little surround there, but it's just not going to be enough. There's the GG. Grubby starts off 1-0 in this best of 5. Well played, man. He really, like, he failed with the Immortal push, and he lost every sentry and his Immortals, and he lost so much that game. He even lost his third again there. But DIMAGA just stuck to pure Ling, man. Like, you can't do that when your opponent gets Colossus. You can't just still build pure Ling. I feel like if he had, like, he had 1,300 gas in the bank at the end of that game, and he only, like, he didn't even have double gas at his third, so that's just gas from his natural and his main. 1,300 gas. Can you imagine if, well, either something like Infestor or Corruptor, or hey, even that unit we know called the Roach, can you imagine if he had actually just made some Roaches there? Like how shut down that would have been from Grubby with no sentries? There's like no chance Grubby would have won that game. Like, after losing the third there, he'd been so far behind. But for some reason, Dimaga just went purely against Colossus. So you can't do that, and he got punished for it. 1-0 for Grubby. We're going to go back into game number 2. See if Dimaga can get a comeback here. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back after this quick commercial break.